Hello guys. So in this session we are going to learn how to add Prometheus data source in Grafana. So first of all we need to install Prometheus as well as Node Exporter and Grafana, right? So here as you can see I have successfully installed Prometheus. You can see here this is the Prometheus UI and the port number is 9090. To access Prometheus in our browser, so first of all we need our instance IP, right? And the port number is 9090. So as you can see this is the dashboard of Prometheus. If I click on status and go to the target, so as you can see here, first of all Prometheus and the state is up, and then node exporter and the state is up. That means that the node exporter as well as Prometheus, they are running, right? So if I go to my terminal, as you can see here, if I enter a command status Prometheus, so as you can see it's running, right? So that means you have successfully installed Prometheus. Okay, now let's start to add Prometheus data source in Grafana. So first of all, what is Grafana? So as you can see here, I have successfully installed Grafana. Welcome to the Grafana. We need to log into our Grafana. So first of all, let's understand what is Grafana. So Grafana is an open source tool for performing data analytics, retrieving metrics that make sense of large amounts of data, and monitoring our apps using nice configurable data dashboard. Right. So in Grafana integrates with a wide range of data source including Graphite, Prometheus, Influx, DB, Elasticsearch, MySQL, and so on, right? So then what is Prometheus? So Prometheus is an open source monitoring and alerting tool, right? And it is designed for reliability and scalability in modern dynamic environments. Then advantage of Grafana with Prometheus as data source, right? So here first of all, the first advantage is a user can visualize a time series directly in Prometheus web UI similar to Grafana. Then Prometheus provides a functional query language called PromQL, and that's, let's understand, let's user select and aggregate time series data in real time. Then the third advantage is Prometheus can discover targets dynamically and automatically scrap new targets on demand. Then what is Prometheus YAML file, right? That is the configuration file of our Prometheus, right? So the Prometheus configuration file is for Prometheus specify parameters like target endpoints, data scrapping, alerting rules, and storage configuration. And this YAML file is critical to tolerating Prometheus for monitor specific service and defining how data should be collected and processed for effective monitoring and alerting. So as you can see here, if I enter my Prometheus, here, this is our Prometheus configuration file, right? Prometheus.yaml file. So I'm going to open my Prometheus YAML file. Sorry. So as you can see, the Prometheus YAML file, the location is /etc Prometheus and the Prometheus.yaml file. So as you can see, this is my Prometheus YAML file, that my Prometheus configuration. So first of all, you can see global, scrap interval, then alerting. So as of now, we don't have any alerting rules, so that's why. Then after that, here as you can see, scrap config. So first of all, we have a job, first job Prometheus and the target and so on. Then the second job is that are node exporter, right? So as you can see, node exporter scrap interval time 5 seconds and the static config here instance IP, and for node exporter the port number is 9100. Okay, so that's the Prometheus config file. Then here, same, you can see scrap configuration. So what is scrap config? Here This section denotes the start of scrap configuration, defining how Prometheus collects data from various targets. Then job definition. Here Prometheus and the scrap interval timing is 5 seconds. So job name specifies the label for the job as Prometheus, and job else organize the managed related targets. Okay. Then target. You can see target group, instance IP, and the port number is 90904 for Prometheus. So target group is where you define the targets, endpoints, and data collection. And here is the one specified, that instance IP and 9090. Okay. So that's the Prometheus Grafana. So here, as you can see, here I mentioned prerequisites. So first of all, we need an instance of Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, right? So I have already installed, I have already launched my instance. Okay. Then after that, we need a sudo access. Then after that, we need to install Prometheus and Grafana. So here I have already installed Prometheus and Grafana, right? Okay. So now we need to log into our Grafana. So when you install first time Grafana, then the default username and password of Grafana is admin, and password also admin. After that, you need to set the password for the security. So as you can see, we need to update our password. So let's update. Click on submit. And as you can see, this is the Grafana dashboard, as you can see. So we have successfully logged into our Grafana. Welcome to Grafana. And you can see data source, dashboard, and so on. Okay. Admin profile, and so on. Okay. So that's the Grafana dashboard. So first of all, now let's start to how to add Prometheus data source in Grafana. So first step is we need to adding Prometheus as a Grafana data source. So how to add? So first of all, as you can see in this section, we will configure Grafana to access your Prometheus server as a data source, and each Prometheus server is a separate data source. And if you are configuring more than one Prometheus server, repeat this section for each. Okay. Now go to the Grafana. So this is my Grafana, right? So first of all, go to the Grafana dashboard, and here you can see, click on the Grafana icon, and the top corner show the main menu, select data source. Okay. So as you can see here, data source. So click on data source and select Prometheus. Okay. Now here, first of all, name Prometheus, then connection. Prometheus server URL. So we need to enter our server URL, Prometheus server URL. So this is my Prometheus, right? So I'm going to copy the URL from here to here, port number and IP address. Okay. Then now keep as it is, right? So let's check here. As you can see here, name Prometheus, type Prometheus, URL, access proxy, and enable or disable as your Prometheus server is configured. Okay. So I'm going to keep as it is, and now click on save and test. After that, here you can see next you can start your visualize data by building a dashboard or buying query data in a explore new. So I'm going to open this explore new in new tab. So as you can see here, then click on add to add data source and click test connection. Okay. After that, you can see below page we will load in, right? Like this. Okay. Now here, first of all, we need to enter here our query. So I'm going to enter a query here. Step third is visualize Prometheus data source in Grafana. So how to visualize? So first of all, select metrics. So I'm going to select metrics, this process virtual memory bytes, as well as you can select this also process CPU second total. So I'm going to select this process CPU second total and enter here. So as you can see, process CPU second total. Okay. Then after that, select label. So I'm going to select my label instance. Then select value. So the value is localhost 9090 for Prometheus. Okay. So I'm going to select this value for node exporter, right? So this for Prometheus. Okay. Now click on this run query, right? So click on run query. So let's check for once the metric keys and the instance and the instance IP and the port number, right? Okay. Then now click on run query. Okay, so as you can see here, the graph. So if I click on this bar, as you can see the bar, then points, stack line, stack bars, lines, right? So as you can see the metric process CPU second instance that our Prometheus localhost 9090 job Prometheus, right? So that's the result, as you can see, right? You can see here also. So here, as you can see, what is process, virtual memory bytes, and process CPU second total matrix in Prometheus. Okay. So first of all, you can see a process virtual memory bytes here. Okay, definition represents the total virtual memory uses of process. Then example, process virtual memory, byte and job web server, instance IP, and so on, right? Then here you can see use case, monitoring the virtual memory consumption of specific process, helping to access its resource utilization. After that, process CPU seconds total. That here as you can see the output, right? Okay, so definition indicates the total CPU consumed by the process measured in seconds. So example here, as you can see, process CPU second total job is our Prometheus, right? And the instance here, localhost 9090. And the use case is tracking the cumulative CPU time expended by process, providing insights into its computation workload. Right, so that's the process CPU seconds total use case. So these metrics are crucial for understanding the resource utilization and performance characteristics of process in a system. And the process virtual memory byte matrix gives insight into the memory uses, while process CPU second total quantifies the CPU time consumption, and both essential for effective monitoring and optimization. Okay, so that's the how to add Prometheus data source in Grafana. So here we have successfully add our Prometheus into a data source in Grafana, right? We have successfully add our Prometheus data source in Grafana. So it's done. So in this session, we have learned how to add Prometheus data source in Grafana, and I hope you're understanding. So thank you for watching.